Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm Ted from Ted's Basement. Today we are going to be talking about Severine Pineaux's brand new fine art prints that released with Arthurian Legends. These things are super cool. They're limited 30 series. This is really beautiful acid-free velvet fine art Epson paper. She puts a nice border around it with a nice little sort of like artist brand kind of at the bottom with the name of the artwork and the name of the card that this piece represents. As you can see, the quality is super high. It's got just the right amount of saturation. The colors come out beautiful on this fine art paper. I've actually had my Philosopher's Stone and Cathedra Mechanism up since I made my last video. They're just absolutely beautiful. So those are primary staples on my wall. What you can see here is the 4 Waters of Paradise. I've got the Amulet, Broceliande. These are just some examples. So these are her Arthurian Legends artworks. These are all available in the 30 series fine art print. You could see here, I mean, if there's something you really enjoy, you know, the Witch, Wizard's Den, Fairy Queen, I mean, all this stuff. Merlin, I really like the Amulet and 4 Waters. You've got Ring of Morgan and Broceliande, because I kind of wanted to have at least one site. I actually don't have. I have like the Philosopher's Stone from her past prints. I've got a Cathedra Mechanism. I'm super into the artifacts, as you guys can tell, but I never actually got a site. So I thought this time around, let me try that out. And it's actually super interesting because she changed the size of the print for sites, for example. So let's talk about some of those details. If you were to pick out a landscape-oriented art, like a site, it's actually going to be 16 by almost 24, okay, in inches. The exact measurement is 15 7/8 by 23 3/8, okay? That is edge-to-edge dimensions of the paper. I call it 16 by 24, but it is not exactly 16 by 24. If you were to pick out portrait oriented, okay, so that's going to be, you know, your minions, your artifacts, pretty much everything except for a site. Those are going to be 40 centimeters by 50, and that's edge to edge of the paper. So that actually includes this white border, this white matte border that you see. That is also going to be about 16 by 20 inches when you convert it to inches. That's, again, your portrait-oriented art. There's also a difference in price. So her portrait-oriented works are going to be $300, and shipping is free, $300 out the door. The landscape artwork, the sites, are going to be $350 because they're a little bit larger. And again, that's free shipping. That's out the door. Now, she's shipping from France, so the shipping is kind of significant, and she just bakes that price right in. Also, I can tell you that her packaging has been really, really good. So for the stuff I've received, nothing has been rolled. You know, like, have you guys ever got prints where they're just rolled up and you have to unroll them and try to flatten them out? She doesn't do any of that. These are like legitimate, nice, professional fine art prints. She keeps them flat. They're supported by backer board. They come in an acid-free, like I guess I would call it a bag, but it's like really nice, almost like if you've ever seen like a really nice magazine or comic book sleeve. It looks like that, but huge. And then inside of the, you know, like an outer shell, you know, sort of traditional shipping package. So she does a really nice job keeping these things protected. I really want to zoom in here really quick on some of the features. So aside from just the fact that it is a fine art print, let's focus in here a little bit on the signature. This is one of the cool things where, like, you can request that she personalizes it for you and signs it. Or if you don't want the personalization, just ask her to sign it, say no personalization, and she'll do that for you. Also, let's take a look over here at the nice dry stamp. This thing's really cool. I think it just adds a touch of sort of like authenticity, if you will. I don't know how easy it would be to like fake something like that. I mean, obviously you got the signature there. It's her handwriting on the numbering, but then also, you know, she's actually stamping this thing where, you know, it's actually like changing the shape of the paper here, which is really cool. And again, with her branding at the bottom and the name of it. So I just feel like those little touches are kind of cool. it comes together as a nice piece. Let's take a close-up look at the grain in the paper, the way the colors really pop on this type of paper. I am super happy with these. I've got, let's see, 3 on my wall right now and 2 in my portfolio. I kind of have like, actually here, I might as well show you this in case you guys are interested. I've got a portfolio for when I can't always keep something on the wall. And this is what it is. So this is an iToya. I got this, well, what is it? Back in 2021. This is an 18 by 24. They have some other sizes, but I figured I might as well just go with the bigger one. The idea here is that you can actually fit up to 48 huge prints. You know, they could be posters. They could be nice fine art prints like this. You know, I'll say it is a flimsy, you know, it's not a cardboard or a metal sort of rigid like binder. This thing is huge. I mean, it's 2 feet by like 1.5 feet. And so it's got like kind of a, I guess I would say like a plastic front and back to it. I mean, there's a little bit of rigidity, but the way that you have to store this thing is in such a way that you don't let it like flop over on itself. But I couldn't find a better way to store 18 by 24 or smaller prints in a way that I don't have to roll them up and put them in a tube. But again, the purpose it serves is that if you can't have all your art up on the wall and you don't want to have a whole bunch of extra frames and stack that stuff up and where you're going to put it, got a nice little binder for it. Now, if you're curious like what I'm doing to showcase these works on my wall, like I'm pretty simple when I come to frames. Like it's just my personal preference. I want a nice, clean, just sort of like gallery style. The artwork is what is being shown and focused on, and it's just a black border. Relatively inexpensive. I mean, heck, it's actually really inexpensive. As you can see here right now, they're under $20. I'll put links to the portfolio and these frames below. One thing to note here, when you get a portrait fine art print from Severine, you can use this 16 by 20 as is. You don't need to buy a mat or anything. It just fits right in there. Some people will say a mat is recommended because if you do it, mat it properly, and you may want to get like a framing person to do that for you, because there are ways to do it and there are ways to not do it. You need acid-free tape. Make sure the mat is actually acid-free itself. And what it does actually holds the print off of the plexiglass or the glass of the frame. And it helps preserve the artwork that way. For me, I didn't do that. Probably should, but my art is just right up against the plexiglass, and I don't actually have a mat on it. Maybe I'll mat it some other time. On the landscape art, different story. Remember, it's just under 23.5 inches, 23 3/8. Okay, by 16 or just under 16. If you were to come over here and change this and do, let's say, like the 16 by 24, and you're like, hey, we'll call it good. The problem is the print is actually shorter than this length. You're gonna see some of the backer board. So if you were to buy something like this, you might need to get yourself some acid-free white paper and hide the backer board. You just don't want to see that little sliver of backer board. I might be overthinking it, but because I didn't test it for you, I just don't know. The other option, if you don't want to use this, is you go even bigger. You go like a lot bigger, and you buy an actual mat. And you put, you know, whether it's a 2-inch mat, a 1-inch mat, a 4-inch mat, you'd have to figure out what you want, add that to the size, and find the right frame, and literally just mat it the way that like traditional fine art prints are supposed to be mounted, because again, it helps keep the ink off of the glass or the plexiglass. So there's a lot of other videos on that kind of stuff. I'm not an expert in matting or mounting or framing. These are just things I've picked up along the way as a customer, basically doing the research for like, how do I mount this stuff? Okay. So look into that on your own, decide what's best for you. This is what I went with for me. Really quick, I'm just going to show you a website you can check out if you're interested in Severine's bio, her gallery. You know, she's got a news tab, and her shop tab takes you to her Etsy page. But these are not the ways that you would reach out to her to get one of these prints. So how do you do that? Guys, it's super simple. You just email her directly and then just let her know what you're looking for. Name the piece, Tell her if you want it signed only or signed and personalized. If you let her know that I sent you, she'll throw a little something extra in. It's not something big. I don't even know what it is because she has a lot of different kind of little goodies and things. Sometimes maybe it's a postcard, it's a bookmark, maybe it's a calendar. I don't know. But she said that if you mention that Ted sent you, she'll just toss a little something extra in there. And just to be clear, 100% of the sales go right to Severine. You're buying it from her. I have nothing to do with it other than I'm just helping her get the word out and showing you on this video. And as a thank you, she's gifted me some of her artist proofs. I get no financial reimbursement. The only reason that we have you say Ted sent me, it helps her to know where she's getting her traffic from, and it helps me to know that the content I'm creating to help her get the word out is actually effective. Lastly, I want to get your opinion on this product that I've been prototyping. I don't know how well it's coming through the video, but I've been experimenting with making some game pieces to fill gaps in various games. I've got a couple prototypes for Magic the Gathering. Here, I'll show you a quick. So this is like a tax counter. Okay. This is like if you play Commander, then you understand what that is tracking. It goes 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and it's got the word tax on it. I don't know that there's a product like that out there. If it is, it's not readily available. And then from a sorcery perspective, I thought, hey, there's cards out there like Valley of Delight that require you to choose which element you want to designate for the rest of the game that card is going to produce. And so I've designed this myself in CAD. I actually talked with Eric from Eric's Curiosa, got his permission to make sure that there was no issue with me using these elemental symbols. He said there's not. And he was good with it. And actually, because these are like ancient elemental symbols, these are not something that his company came up with. And so I'm just basically experimenting when there are opportunities in a game to improve the game experience by having a custom game piece that solves that particular thing, and it's not readily available on the market. That's a game piece that I want to attempt to model and produce it as a product. And so I'm fabricating these myself. I'm very close to making them available for sale. I just want to know if you guys are interested. Is this something that you would buy? If you're a Magic player, is this something you would buy? I've got some different colors I was playing with. Part of me is just wanting to say, put this out there, see what you guys are thinking. Am I barking up the wrong tree here, or does this feel like something interesting? If it is, I can make other game pieces. I designed them myself. There's this one here that I was thinking was kind of cool. It's kind of still in the prototype stage, but it's kind of like a Death's Door token. I actually drew, I'm not even an artist in any way, shape, or form. I drew this Grim Reaper in 3D modeling CAD software. It took me hours because drawing it in software as a 3D model is not the same as just picking up a pencil. But I was thinking maybe I can turn that into like the shape of a card or something. I don't know. Let me know what you guys are thinking about it. Again, this is just me kind of like almost doing a quick little survey here. Let me know in the comments below if these products seem interesting to you. If you stuck around this long, give me a hashtag Severine Pineaux. I'll tell you how to spell it right here in the comments. I'm sure she would really appreciate it, and it helps me to kind of understand, who sticks around to the very end. Take it easy, everybody. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.